One thing I like to share is that I am an Underwood fan. I love these old Underwoods. They're great. They're the open body machines, and these old metal, what would you call them, beasts maybe even, are just wonderful to look at and wonderful to use. This is another one of my many Underwoods. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I have about 20 or 25 Underwoods of my 70 typewriter collection. This one is, however, one of the nicer ones. It's my 1911 number 5 Underwood. Forgetful Collector, which is also a antique collector who shows his machines on YouTube, has the exact same year model. I'll put a link of his video in my description below. But first of all, I would like now to show off my model. I got this as a donation piece in December of 2012. Well, it was promised to me in December 2012, but I actually got it in April of 2013. But the funny thing is, or not really funny, but maybe it's a sad thing. Anyway, this belonged to his mother, the person who promised it to me, but she actually died suddenly in the period between Christmas and April. So it was quite difficult to still get it since it was part of her estate. Yet he promised it me, and he did as he said, and I found it on the doorstep one day with a letter, and here it is. Like I said, this is one of my nice Underwood decals in very good shape. Usually these are at the bottom rub off, but just like my number 3, it's still here. Not painted over, nothing. Decals here are also in good shape. On the paper table they're also here, slightly yellowed, but not that that matters because they're still here. I think that was slightly worn, but it's fine. This is funny. I think this is actually a factory fault, but I'm not too sure. This seems to have been rubbed when the paint was still wet on this, since you can see the slight dots, so it doesn't indicate somebody just went with acid fingers or something and went oops. So that's quite an interesting birthmark, you could call it. I have another one with that. It's a typewriter. It has a... Oh yeah, this one has it as well. It's very interesting. Look at this. Do you know what that is? That is actually a paint drop. So I'm not too sure. I don't know if this machine has been repainted. It doesn't look like it. Or maybe small parts. However, this is a paint drop, so it could be done in the factory. Or it could have been done later on. Not too sure. It looks like it's been repainted over, but it's hard to tell because the paint's slightly chipping, but it shows the bare metal, so it would indicate it's the first paint job, but usually these get painted over throughout the years. That's also why the decals go away eventually. Anyway, I have a different machine that also has a rub on the paint, but that's clearly done in the factory. It's quite interesting. When paint was wet, somebody did oops. And that's a newer model, and that hasn't been painted over, so it's the original paint job. It has slight white dotting on the paper table. I'm still trying to get that off. I'm not too sure what it is. Looks just like decades old whiteout. It's actually quite old, just by the looks of it. Turning this machine around, we have handsome decorations on the actual frame posts, and we have dating on the back. The newest date is 1908, but according to the internet, it's a 1911 model. Dating is also in surprisingly good shape. Slight wear. I'm not on the right light personally, but you can see perfectly. I have cats, sometimes cat hair gets in here. Anyway, it's a normal Underwood escapement. The Wagner models have a way simpler escapement system, but they're also more rare. Especially the Underwood No.5's Wagner. They're very rare. You don't see them a lot. I've seen once in my life, and that one was $250, so passed on that one. Initially I think it was $350, but I'm not too sure. See, maybe I can do a type sample. There's a brand new ribbon in it, so we can always have a look and then finish the story afterwards. Okay. See, start off with an immediate error. Okay. All the keys are even, all the keys work the same. For pressure, all of them except the 8. The 8 is, as you can see, slightly sagging. And that's because, let me show you. For a long time this machine has been sitting on something which caused several of these, what you call them, rods? Maybe arms underneath this machine caused to be bent, which affected the pressure on the U, I, O, and M and the 8, which also caused the keys to stick. And then the not actual hammers would stick, but the keys would stay down because of an issue with those rods. Maybe, I don't know what you call them. Well, I know what you call them, it just slipped my mind. I managed to get these all free. Bent them back into shape very carefully because you don't want to damage it. And they're now the same pressure as all the other keys, actually. Maybe even easier, I'm not too sure. No, it's just the same. They're the same. Except the 8. It still slightly sticks, so I'm working on that, which also causes the key to stick when, as you can see, it's slightly sagging. For those that have a old Underwood No.5, as you can see here in the back, there's a row of screws. If my camera, these screws are attached to springs, which you can see up there. Those springs affect the tension on the keys. These machines were not equipped with a actual tension control or touch selector. These machines had screws in the back, and with the screwdriver you could turn those to your liking, whatever tension you preferred. It was a lot of work, so most people didn't do it. I did it for those keys until I found out what the problem was, because that has been a while. I only figured that out about last month or something like that. So this is still turned up slightly, the screw, because I know the issue, but I haven't attended to it yet. So it's sticking when you push it slowly, but works normally when you just push it. Like, it's slightly heavier, but you barely feel it when you use the machine. And it's an 8, you know. The only real times you use it is for a date or a number. Like if it was the A or the D or the G, it will be different, like these, which was slightly annoying, but I fixed those, so that's good. Get on with the good, stop with the bad. It's a very, very beautiful machine. So I'm so happy the decorations these machines obtained in the factory are still preserved so well. The paint's not fragile that much, it's very good shape. The front panel comes off by removing these 4 screws. I fixed the bell. It was slightly loose, got that fixed. Shift lock is worn off by just pushing the key. It should lock automatically, but it doesn't. If you want to shift lock, you have to push shift, which is hard to do with the camera in your hand, and then pull up the carriage slightly, which I just failed to do. If you pull up the carriage even more than it shifts, it doesn't change the height of the letter that is being printed. It just locks it for you. It's locked right now, actually. I just pushed it up. It's a good machine, I like it. I'm glad I have it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.